Okay, she said, "Oh,
We're up
we live.
behind the scenes.
Here we are." It's always
Going
like
behind the
this
scenes. We were
weird
just
delay
joking.
is the problem.
We were just joking about if we went live in any of our other studios where we like read our sponsored ads, how awkward that would be if we're just on, if we're like, just being like avocado mattress, the best mattress in the world, best mattress.
Yeah. I mean, I was just telling UA that I kind of had a minor freak out that I thought that was happening when I was doing an ad. So, very relieved that there's an extra step in this process so it doesn't just look like if it looks like you're live, it doesn't necessarily mean you're live.
But if you do catch us in one of those scenarios, just know that's what's happening, and just give us some grace.
I heard on a different podcast that someone was like like saying like they were just like really impressed with their ad reads and how well read they were, and they didn't
Mhm.
realize that like sometimes you take a break and like restate the sentence. So they were like the person that gave them the compliment was just like, "I'm so impressed that you're able to just like spit out all of that data on the ad in one like read basically." And then I think we would just like reveal this if we went live.
That's what my friend May said. She's like, "I'm most impressed by the ad reads, how you guys can just memorize all that." I'm like, you think we memorized all of that? That's all from memory. If I could memorize all of our ads, I'd be a freaking genius."
Seriously. I think also it's like even if you give like the personal endorsement, I personally always write it out first because I'm
Oh,
like, there's
yeah.
no way it would just be a cluster.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
I
we're
have to.
back. We're back with dating Q&A and some updates and we have a really good question today that we're going to address that I think is very top of mind for many, many daters.
They're all very good questions. We do not pick favorites. All of them are our favorite questions. But it just shows that if you have a question or going through a dating challenge, chances are many other people are going through the same thing.
Yes, I'm looking forward because at the time of recording this, we are going to be doing some upcoming events. We have a book signing at Chestnut Street in San Francisco at Books Inc. So if you're local, stop by, bring your book, How to Be Dateable, get it signed, say hello to us. You can ask us a question there. But we have this other event too that's at Las Positas Community College, and
Hmm.
it's their literary festival where we're going to be, of course, talking about the book writing process, what it's like to write a dating self help book, but also answering questions. And they could be anything from, what it's like to write a book to give me an answer to this dating dilemma.
Hmm. Who knew? Who knew you could do it both in one conversation? If you're curious how we got our book deal, we're going to reveal all at this
We
panel.
are.
So it's worth going out to Livermore for this alone. It's from 3:30 to 4:30 Saturday, May 10th.
Yeah. And they're all on our website, dateablepodcast.com/events. You can see all the upcoming events because I know it seems like a lot sometimes when we're just spitting out random things. And
Hmm.
we also have Santa Monica Public Library coming up the week after in Los Angeles on
Yes.
the 15th, which I keep thinking is a Wednesday, but it's a
Yeah.
Thursday. I don't know why I'm such a mental block on that.
Yeah. Life
I'm going to
over
show up
40.
at the airport on Wednesday. I swear.
I would laugh so hard. I would laugh so hard if that well, no, you are showing up at the airport on Wednesday.
What do you mean? Oh, I am. I am actually going to the airport. No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm
no,
flying
Thursday morning.
Thursday. I'm like, wait, am I?
I got really
No, I'm
confused.
not.
I won't even be home Wednesday. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you're not
That
even
would be
there.
really that would be really bad.
I'm like, it's the 15th, right? They're like, nope, no, it's
Oh,
not.
shoot. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done at the airport for a flight or for travels?
Ooh, I'm trying to think of mine, but I'm thinking of someone else's, and this is a good story. I
Mm,
remember like I was with some friends and we were talking about this was like actually right after my Italy trip. So they were
uh-huh.
just like, did any like issues come up? And I talked about that train incident that I've shared on this
Yeah.
podcast before about how we got on the wrong train and almost got stranded. And then one of my friends like was like, "Oh, I literally lost it on my husband once because I forget where they were. Maybe it was France and Paris, or there are 2 airports there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they basically went to the wrong airport.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
They're not that far from each other, so it's not but if you are like me, who does last minute
Oh my god, I can't. I
everything,
can't, like, even travel with you.
nobody can, which is great because I hate traveling with people, like, j just leave me when I travel with my partner, it's like, "You go to the airport first, you get settled, and then I'll see you at the
Oh my god,
gate."
you guys don't go together?
It depends on how early the flight is. If it's a 9 a.m. flight, he will want to get there at, like, 6:30. I'm not doing that. I'm
So you're
just not
talking
doing
about
that.
your current man friend.
Yes,
I
yes,
just wanna
I will
point out you use the word partner.
Oh, it's just easier.
I don't
Just
know, I
easier.
think there's something hidden there.
Should I say just I don't wanna say boyfriend, it just
I don't
sounds so
know.
weird, a
I think
boyfriend
I think
talking
it's
Oh god.
subconsciously.
Don't read into it, it's interchangeable in my mind, just to make things a little easier. But I've definitely done that in New York. I showed up at LaGuardia when I was supposed to be at JFK. That was a shit show because those airports are far apart
Yeah.
from each other. But I think I told you this, Julie. I've told other friends too, because I am a last minute traveler. I just like getting to the gate when they're about to board.
That's my
The only
biggest
time I've ever
nightmare.
missed a flight, yeah, exactly. If you have any little, even little bit of anxiety, this would bring up all the anxiety in you. The only time I've ever missed a flight was because I got to the airport too early
Oh my
and
god.
I just lost track of time. I was like, I have so much time on my hands. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna shop. I'm gonna eat, and then I fucking missed the flight.
That's ironic. So my partner and I both love getting to the airport really early. It's
Yeah.
something that I was like, "Oh, I found the right person because we can share this." But one time, my partner also loves taking naps. So early in our relationship, I was not with him. He was flying back to his mom's house, and he was in the airport super early, of course, decided to
Mhm.
take a little nap, and he's
Oh
usually good
no.
about, like, getting up, like, he is good about setting
Oh
alarms, all
no.
that. They actually moved his gate while he was sleeping. So he did get up on time, but then by the time, like, to get to that other gate, he missed his flight and had to, like,
He
rebook the whole
did?
thing, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Why? I think it's so evil when they change your gate like that. Oh, that's bad. So then he got on the next flight, hopefully?
It was a little is it's like not
Oh,
like
he had
where
to
she
wait.
lives in Florida isn't like the easiest place to like get to. So there's not like a
Oh
ton of direct
no.
flights. So he definitely had to like he had to be there for a while. Let's just say that.
Oh no. But those are the telling times when you're traveling with a partner, whether you're compatible or not. It's if you can travel together and get through these moments because we've all encountered them. And I've certainly had partners who could not handle stress and pressure, and some people who are just really good with it.
Or you just learned how to deal with your partner, because I feel like I'm the type that would freak out. Like, I don't wanna say, like, "Oh, they're bad if they don't freak out," or "They're bad if they do freak out," because, like, some people like me, that's just, like, in
You
my
would.
nature. Like, I would
Yeah.
freak out, but I think my partner would either ignore me, and I mean that in, like, the most loving way, but, like, be like, "Okay, like, I'll help you, but, like, at some point, like, this is your own shit you have to, like, figure out." You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
we'll work together to figure out the resolution, but your anxiety and spiraling is, like, your thing to deal with.
And you're okay with that. You're okay with your
Um,
partner ignoring that, or does that get you mad in the beginning and then you calm down?
yeah, I think in the beginning, I'm like, "Aren't you sharing this?" And then his response is always like, "We don't need 2 people stressed." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense."
I'm gonna use that next time.
Yeah, I
That's a
think
good
it's like
one.
there's a line, like, you can't just, like, outright ignore someone because yeah, that will just, like, amplify it, but you
Yeah.
don't have to necessarily feed into it yourself either.
Yeah, you have boundaries. I recognize you are stressed.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't wanna be part of that energy. We're gonna get through this. Let's yeah,
I don't
let's just
know.
get
I
through
feel
this
like
together.
I don't wanna be part of that energy would trigger me.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't think I would ever say that to you. There are a lot of things that would trigger you that I know that would not fly, but it would probably be something like, "This is I recognize that you're feeling stressed. I recognize this is a stressful situation. We'll get through this together. Let me figure out a plan."
Yeah, that's better. That's a better way to say it. Yeah, you have
Yep.
to know your partner and what's triggering. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember this one time with my ex, we were traveling and we got back to LA and we had to get to the dog sitter before they closed.
That's
Otherwise,
stressful.
we couldn't pick up his dog till the day after. I did not know this. He did not communicate this to me. So I'm like, "Wow, look at this." And "Oh my gosh, look at this new California sweatshirt they're selling at the
Oh
store."
my god.
And he's just like huffing and puffing and I was like, "What is going on?" And then we get to the dog sitter and he's like, "Why are you acting like such a kid that I have to tow around? Didn't you know that we had to get to this dog sitter by 6 o'clock?" Like, "I didn't know. You gotta communicate that with me." Right?
Yeah. Well, that's yeah, you definitely need to, like, tell someone if that's the issue. I think
Yeah,
actually,
like,
like, the silent huffing and puffing is
it's the
worse.
worst.
It's worse than, like, someone, like, outwardly freaking out because at least you, like, know what's
Exactly.
happening. I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe
'cause
people
I
would disagree, but in my opinion, at
oh,
least.
I'd much rather have someone just blow up at me than give me the silent treatment. Because I kept thinking like, "Did I say something wrong? What did I do something I don't know what I did." And he was building up all this resentment in the 20 minutes we were in this Uber, and like, "What is
Yeah.
happening?" So yes, talk it out, talk it out. I do love a good rupture in a relationship because at least you're verbalizing something. The
Yeah.
worst is that underlying resentment and frustration that just builds and builds and builds and one day it erupts and that's not pretty.
Maybe we'll put the question out to the listeners. Do you first of all, are you an anxious or calm traveler? And then second, would you rather be with someone that silently has their anxiety or outwardly has their anxiety?
Yes,
I guess
yes.
silently you at least just don't know and it doesn't bother you until it like if it's like resentment building, that's one thing. But then yeah, I think I don't know. You can always kind of tell when someone's like
You can tell, I was gonna
silently
say, you
anxious.
can always tell, and then what's telling is you go, "What's wrong?" And they go, "Nothing."
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you're like,
Or like you
"Okay,
could see the
something's wrong."
wheels turning. I definitely always know when my partner is silently stewing
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's a different vibe.
for sure.
But good, we got that travel anxiety out of the way.
I do think
It's so
traveling
fascinating,
with
though.
someone though, it's not that there's a right or wrong way, but like can you work together? And that
Yes,
doesn't mean both of you have to be perfect by any means, but can you navigate through this?
yes. That first trip together, it's always so telling,
Mhm.
so telling. Yeah,
Something will
good luck.
always go wrong. Something will always go wrong.
Oh, absolutely. It's something you can't even anticipate. My
Yeah.
first trip with my current man friend partner, see, I just mushed it all together. There's no debate. We got to the Airbnb and they only had one key. So for the rest of the trip, we had to share this one key and had to really communicate and coordinate how we get in and out of this Airbnb.
Oh,
We
because he was working, right? Yeah,
yeah,
I
he was
see. I
there
was like, why
on
is
a
that
work trip.
that big a deal? But I guess if you're
Yeah,
doing your own thing, that's kind of
we're doing
annoying.
our own thing. Yeah, that was probably the biggest test in our early relationship.
Yeah, that is annoying. I guess if you're
But
like
who would have
on
known?
vacation together, you can figure it
Yeah,
out more. But yeah, I could see
yeah,
that.
yeah, you're more chill vibes, but if you're yeah, if one person's working and the other one's on vacation and
Yeah.
there's only one key, yeah, that's quite the social experiment.
Well, another speaking of social experiments, something we wanted to bring back to brunch talks in our lives here
Mm,
is
yes.
our would you rather I guess, I don't know, segment's a weird word, but we used to do this thing on intros that we would ask each other these would you rather questions. And they were always
Yeah.
really thought provoking and interesting, and people really loved it. So we want to bring it back because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had one.
And we have a list. We had this ongoing list of would you rathers that we loved. So I'm just going to go down the list. We might as well just
Love it.
go from the top one. this one, this one's still, it kind of makes me giggle because this is so evil. Okay. Would you rather date someone who has slept with your best friend or someone who hates your best friend?
Mm. Ooh. Ooh, that's tough.
It's so evil. It's so evil.
I'm also like a tangent. I'm watching the show Vanderpump Rules, and I know I'm late
Yeah.
to the game because it's been around since like 2013, but I'm
Yeah.
back on there. And these people are the most evil because they either do sleep with all of each other's best friends or they
I
hate them.
know.
So
I
this is
know.
like a real life thing. That
It
show is
is.
reality TV gold, though. And I'm like, where have I been for like all these years that this has been
That's why
on?
she has so many franchises of that show. Now there's Vanderpump
Villa?
Villas.
Yeah. It's
What?
crazy. It's crazy, but it's I think what sorry, I'm gonna get off this tangent because it's very different. But my last thing here is I think it's because it was before reality stars like became like insta famous and like they were like so public. So it was just so freaking raw. But anyways,
Yes. Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
What would oh, this is so tough.
Would you rather date someone who has slept with your best friend or someone who hates your best friend?
Okay, I'm gonna say and neither are good, just to put that out there.
Well,
I'm gonna
obviously, that's the whole point of would you rather. You
I'm
don't
gonna
want any of
say
these.
slept with my best friend
Okay.
because if it like oh, okay, do they still have lingering feelings? Because that's
I
different too.
there are no follow-up questions.
Okay, if they hooked up one time, wasted, then slept with my best friend. Because then each time forward, at least it's not like awkward that people are like very uncomfortable in the sense that like nothing is worse than being in a room where like someone outwardly hates you. And I think that would be
Mm.
very uncomfortable for the long term. But if there was like still desire that crept in, I think I would choose the hate because I would. Okay, I'm changing my answer for this. This is very
Wow.
difficult.
She just
Okay, it's
she just
conditional for
verbally
me.
talked herself out of this, yeah.
It's conditional for me. If they still have any desire at all, I'd rather hate because then I'm not in the middle of it at all. It's
Why would
between
how
these
would
2
you know if
people.
there's any lingering feeling? Why would they tell you? There's no way you would know.
Well, when did this happen? How many years ago?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, I'll stick with my original answer. What would you pick?
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm gonna stick with
Final answer.
slept with them.
Okay. I would go with hate. I would definitely go with hate. I think just it if someone I'm dating has slept with my best friend, it will always be looming over me that I
Yeah,
will always be visualizing them together, right? And it's so weird that to be in the same
that's
room to
true.
have my partner have seen my best friend naked and vice versa. That is weird to me. Unless I like to swing, maybe that could be really beneficial. But at this point in my life, no. If he really hated my best friend, I think there's some room there. Maybe there is room for group therapy or really talk through where this hate stems from. Because also, there could be something with my best friend that's putting out there too. Like maybe both of them are putting out this energy that can be resolved. And if both of them have my interest, if both of them prioritize me and where I want these 2 relationships to go, then they would put in the effort to try to come to some sort of amicable relationship.
So on the other side of hate is love. So maybe they secretly love each other.
Then go for
I'd rather them
it.
just F each other than love each other.
I rather them F each other after me than before me.
Also, Can you say that word on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, people do all the
Anything
time.
goes. Okay. Just being innocent over here.
That's just my thought. That's just my thought,
No,
but
it's a mind scratcher, that's for sure. Like, who'd
has yeah, has anybody ever been in this situation before? I would love to know.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Well, well, let's leave a poll on that one, actually, and definitely leave some comments either here or on Spotify. I wanna get
Have any of your friends ended up with someone that you've hooked up with?
No, never. Have you had that?
Just one friend. Just one friend. And she knew this was not a serious thing, but she knew getting into this relationship with him. They're now married with kids.
Okay. But
But
it was someone you,
we've
like, dated, but not seriously?
never dated him, just
Okay,
hooked
just
up.
hooked up. Okay, but they're married, so there it was
They're
clearly,
married with
like,
kids.
strong to go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And even after we hooked up, I knew that they would be good together.
Do
I
you
just
still
knew.
talk to them?
I do.
So,
But
okay.
she's never brought it up explicitly. So I don't know if there's still like lingering resentment or of any sort, but we've all hung out in the same room before.
Yeah. I don't know if it's, like, resentment if, like, you did first and then sh like, if anything, it would be the other way around, that there's, like,
Right.
resentment. So, it's more of just weirdness, but it's not like you did anything wrong if you hooked up with someone and then she's now dating them and gets married, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, true. It's awkward.
It's awkward.
It's not awkward anymore. It's been
Well,
years, like 20
that's what I
years,
mean.
right?
That's why I'm almost
Yeah.
like I'd prefer to just, like, have them once like each other to the point of being together, and then you kinda just, like,
Yeah.
get over it. I don't know, that's why it's so situational. Uh, it's a good one,
It's a good
and we're
one.
gonna move on to another
We
good
do have
one.
a viewer question.
Oh, yeah?
Do
Okay.
we wanna do you wanna
Yeah,
go with the
let's
viewer
take it.
question
Let's do
first?
it.
Okay. Thank you, viewer, for asking this question. I'm 34. I've gone to therapy, gone to the gym, I've gone to college, law school, and became a lawyer. I own my own house. Now I'm just shortening this question. I've
Okay.
never felt that anyone has liked me. I'm
Mm,
always in the friend. I'm always just the friend, which I'm okay with being friends with women. It's just no one is interested in me. I don't know what to do.
okay. Well, first of all, I think it's wonderful that you have this great life that you just shared. But I don't think that correlates to, like, romantic interest, like, leading with the resume. So,
Yeah.
while that's great and it shows stability in some ways, what's missing is the connection piece to someone. Just telling people all the things you have on paper and like who you are doesn't make it that it correlates to someone that they'd want to date. So what's more important is when you are on dates, obviously if someone brings up questions about you, by all means don't hold back. Instead of like listing the resume of why someone should date you, show them why they should date you. Be a
Mhm.
partner to them and listen to them and have interesting conversation where you're curious about their life and their choices and what led them down certain paths as they will be to you as well. That I think is maybe what's missing. The fact that all that was like led with in the first place. I wonder if that energy is being brought into romantic situations as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we are at this place in our dating culture where we feel like I've built this life, I've
Yep.
done this, so therefore I deserve a partner or I'm entitled to a partner. And as we know with dating, nothing's linear. There's no degree for you to get, and therefore you get a job as someone's partner. What is what is telling to me about your question is you seem to always get friend zoned, seen as a friend. And what we've seen is when you get friend zoned, it usually means that there is a lack of conviction in the way you speak to the women that you're interested in and your friendships. It's oh, it's cool if we hang out, or it's cool if we don't. It's cool that we're not romantic and you're telling me about your boyfriends or the guys that you're dating. There are no clear boundaries. And then as the receiving end, she's probably like, "Oh, he's just so nice to me. Okay, maybe we're just friends."
Yeah.
Because you put yourself there a lot of the times. The connection piece that Julie's talking about is so key in all of this because the connection is everything that determines whether there's a viable relationship or not. And if you're not being vulnerable enough to put yourself out there and acting with conviction, that connection doesn't really have an opportunity to grow.
And listener, obviously, we don't know you and your situation. So, what I'm going to say is not directed at you, but I do recall I had this guy friend that always felt like they were in the friend zone all the
Mhm.
time. And it felt like they had this like almost sense of entitlement, like they deserved more from the women that are in their life. And a lot of times, like the friend zone to me, I think it's like a weird verbiage too, because it's like, does this person that you interact with owe you to be in a relationship, and therefore like then you're not if they're not receptive? Like I feel
Yeah.
like the baseline is that you're friends, and then it either grows or it doesn't. It's not like it was in this world and now I got like downgraded. It was never in this
Right,
world to
right.
begin with.
Right, right. It's a very good point. And then he says, I must not be interesting and attractive then. Okay, I'll just give up. LOL. Nope, that's not what we're saying. It's absolutely not what
No,
we're saying.
not at all.
And we hope that many of you who are feeling this way, the answer is not to give up. It just means you're talking to the wrong people. It doesn't mean that you don't have any options out there, or it's you're talking to the people who don't see you as a romantic partner, right? And oh, then he says, I don't feel like it's appropriate to flirt or make a move unless it'll be reciprocated. Okay, and that's where the confusion comes in our dating culture today. It's like, do I make the first move? But
Yeah.
I don't want to make the first move if it's taken in a different way or taken the wrong way. You don't have to make a physical first move, but we really believe it's important, especially in this day and time, is to verbalize it. I have feelings for you, or I am interested in getting to know you as
Yeah.
more than a friend. I would love to take you out on a proper date. How's your schedule next week? How's Thursday? Oh, sorry.
Are they
See? If
calling you
when
right now? Just
Yeah, they're calling me. They're calling me right now. With live, you never know what happens. When you act with conviction and also are vulnerable enough to be explicit about your feelings, that's when you put your interest forward. That's making a move. It's not
Yeah.
like leaning in for a kiss or grabbing their hand.
Right.
It's not that barbaric. It is purely just putting your feelings out there.
Also, I think too, it's like if you're meeting people in a dating context, like off apps and all that, and then they're saying, oh, there's no emotional connection, let's try being friends, or something that basically puts you in that friend vibe. It's not that you're unattractive, it's not that you're boring, but maybe the relational skills aren't fully there. And I think
Mhm.
this isn't, again, this is not something you have done wrong. This is dating. And the challenges with dating is we act in ways that we think we should to get the guy or get the girl or whoever. It's
Yes.
not an object to be gotten, but that's like how we've been trained for years. So a lot of it is like unlearning what it means to be good at dating, which is why we have a whole book. So we hope you, listener, do pick this up if you haven't yet, because I think the showing up chapter in particular will be really, really helpful. And the best part is like you don't actually need to change anything about yourself in the terms of how you look and your personality. It's just that you're approaching dating differently and honestly probably a lot more authentically. Like if you look at
Yes.
like how you are with your friends, my guess is that it's different than how you are with dates. And we get it. Like it's a romantic context versus platonic, but I think a lot of times our personalities and the way that we like interact also get shift in that process.
It's the fear that's really blocking you and giving you all these obstacles in your mind that don't really exist. So he's asking, how can I tell how am I supposed to know if someone likes me then? I can't tell a woman that I'm interested unless I feel like they're interested in me. If we approached life in any other
Yeah.
area of life with this type of thinking, nothing would get done. what if you said, "I will never apply to a job unless I know that I can get the job,"
Right.
or I will never pursue a friendship with this person unless they explicitly tell me they wanna be friends with me." We wouldn't have friends, we wouldn't have jobs, nothing would happen. Everything in life is about putting yourself at the forefront, putting your in do you like this person? Okay, if you like this person, speaking your truth, and if they're not bored, that's the only way to find out.
The other thing too, it doesn't need to be like this big declaration up top. You could just go on a if you went on a date with them, let's say you met them on a dating app, all you need to do is say like, "I had a really good time with you. I'd love to do this again." And if they say no,
Yeah.
they say no. That's not like confessing and putting yourself out there in that big a way when you really think about it. Or if it's someone you already know, saying something similar like, "Hey, I really like spending time with you. Like, I'd love to like go to dinner or something one on one or something that indicates that it's more progression. You can take like more baby steps. Like it doesn't need to be like, I love you. I've had a crush on
Yeah,
you
you're right.
for 10 years. Like you don't need to go that bold like from right away. Just take a little step and see if they give back to you. And if they do, then keep putting it out there. But that's still even the little step though, you can be forthcoming about what you want and what you're looking for.
Yes. Put yourself in the driver's seat. You're the one trying to get to answers. And yes, I see your point. He's saying I wouldn't apply to jobs if I didn't have the prerequisites for that job, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Your prerequisite for anybody who is single is you're a good human being and that you're a dateable human being. That those are the prerequisites. Anybody will qualify for those prerequisites. I can't even say that word, for those prerequisites to apply for a job, to
That's
date
why
someone.
they shorted to prereqs.
Is that what they say? Prereqs?
Prereqs, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are dateable. Okay, no,
You are. Good.
we're not going to debate this. So you are innately dateable. Everyone's innately dateable. Everyone is. That's why our book is called How to Be Dateable because we're just bringing out that side of you that maybe has been suppressed for a long time because you're barking at the wrong tree.
Yeah, or you're just influenced by the dating rules and the way we're supposed to date that aren't really serving you. Yeah. I really hope this listener can pick up the book because I do think the showing up chapter will be game changing for them.
Oh, yes. He says, "Yes, I will check out your book."
Okay. You're dateable. I want you to leave on that note.
Yes, you are very
Nothing needs to
dateable.
change about you except for, just how you relate to someone.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that we were able to dive into that question. I think a lot of people ask questions like this, especially when dating hasn't necessarily gone their way, or sometimes it feels like you're applying to hundreds and hundreds of jobs with no leads back. It can be discouraging, right? So I'm glad that you were able to put that out there because a lot of us feel this deep down.
And on a platform like YouTube where we're doing this live on any platform, I've given this example before. It is you get to control the algorithm of your life. YouTube will be presenting these videos to you, all these videos to you, right? If you have no interest in them, they'll ask, "Do you want to see a video like this again?" You say no, and then they go on. They want to feed you videos that you want to see. It's the same thing with dating. If you don't ask the person, "Do you think we could be viable together?" Then you'll never know. You might be presenting videos to someone who has no interest in seeing your videos. All you're trying to get to are the right eyes for your video, for your content. And then get rid of the people, filter out the people who have no interest in your content.
Yeah. I love it. But you also have to make good content. Putting that out there too. Like I agree with you on that. Like, but if we're not making good content or showing up in a way that's conducive
True.
to relating, then
Yeah.
you might just be getting rid of people, getting rid of people, getting rid of people, and not finding anyone that sticks. So I think
Yeah.
it's a both. It's not an either or.
Yes. Unless you
Okay.
make all those videos of you, putting your face in bread and then millions of people watch it. Still boggles my mind why that content gets viewed. But there is a lid for every pot.
There is someone's turned on by
Someone's into it.
that. Okay. Well, I'm so glad that we were able to go through some of this today. I'm still going to be thinking about that would you rather and how disturbing it kind of is to me, like thinking about that with my partner and friends. But no, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get rid of that thought.
Yeah, no, I think
I don't need that thought going around
I
in my
don't
head.
really know. Let's not put that in the universe. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Well, anyways, hope everyone has a good week and we will see you next week.
Thanks for the questions. Bye.
Bye.